Dracula, Chapter 6. Mina and Jonathan walked arm in arm down a busy street in London. They had been married. Now they were on their way to their new house. The sky was getting dark. The street was crowded. Suddenly Jonathan stopped. He held tight to Mina's arm. "Jonathan, what is it?" asked Mina. "You're shaking." Jonathan stared at a tall man with dark eyes who was passing. "Can he be here in London?" gasped Jonathan. "Then the nightmare has come true." Mina made Jonathan sit down. "Who was that man?" she asked. "Do you know him?" Jonathan was silent for a long time. Then he said, "I never told you what happened to me in Transylvania. I saw strange things there, awful things. Sometimes I thought I was going crazy or dreaming it all, so I kept a diary. I wrote down what I saw at Castle Dracula. Now he is here, and I must find out, did I dream it, or is Dracula really a monster? Will you read my diary, Mina, and tell me what you think?" "Of course I will read it," said Mina. Then she led Jonathan home. A telegram was on the doorstep. "My friends," it said, "there is terrible news. Mrs. Westenra died 2 days ago. Lucy died yesterday. The causes of their deaths are not clear. Signed, in great sadness, John Seward." Mina and Jonathan were shocked. How did our friends die, they wondered. They decided to see Dr. Seward. Maybe he could tell them more. Van Helsing and Arthur stood at Lucy's grave. It was night time. Van Helsing wanted to prove that Lucy was a vampire. When he opened the grave, it was empty. "But where is her body?" asked Arthur. "She has gone to look for a victim," said Van Helsing, "so she can drink blood. We must find her and stop her." They began looking for Lucy near the graveyard. Before long, they found a little boy. He was standing quietly in the dark, near a tree. "What are you doing here?" asked Van Helsing. "You are too young to be out so late. You should be at home, in bed." "The beautiful lady told me to wait here," answered the little boy. "The beautiful lady?" asked Van Helsing. "Who is she?" Then he saw 2 small bites on the boy's neck. "Oh no," he said to Arthur, "Lucy has begun." The men took the little boy home. Then they returned to the tree. "Lucy will come back here for the child," Van Helsing said. "We will wait for her." A long time passed. Then they heard a woman's voice. "Come, come to me," the voice called. Lucy appeared, but she did not look like she used to. Now her mouth was stained with blood. Her teeth were fangs. She was a vampire. Lucy saw Arthur and reached out for him. "My love," she cried, "come to me." Van Helsing held up a cross to Lucy. When she saw it, she made a sound like a growl. Her eyes glowed red with fear. She ran away. Arthur wept. "You were right," he said to Van Helsing. "She is not Lucy any more. She is evil." Van Helsing answered softly, "I am sorry. I know you loved her." He looked at the sky. "Dawn is coming. Soon Lucy must return to her grave. When she does, we will drive a stake through her heart. Then her life as a vampire will be over, and she will rest forever." The 2 men sat down to wait. The next day, Van Helsing called Dr. Seward, Arthur, Mina, and Jonathan together. They met at Dr. Seward's house in London. When Jonathan came in, he said, "I have just learned that we are all in danger." "What do you mean?" asked Dr. Seward. "It is Dracula," said Jonathan. "When I was at his castle, I saw many strange things. I thought I might be dreaming, or crazy. But now I know what happened there was real, that Dracula is real, and he is here in London. Worse yet, the house he bought, Carfax Abbey, is right next door." "So close?" gasped Dr. Seward. Van Helsing stood. "Friends," he said, "we face a strong enemy. Dracula almost killed Jonathan. He scared Lucy's mother to death. He turned Lucy into a vampire. Now he is here in London. He will strike again and again. His victims will become vampires, like poor Lucy." Mina shivered. "Why is he so evil?" she asked. "Long ago," said Van Helsing, "Dracula was a great soldier. He won many battles. Then he began to lose. He could not stand it. So he made a pact with the devil. He gave up his soul for victory. Now he is doomed to live forever. He feeds on the blood of humans. No one is safe from him." "He must be stopped," said Dr. Seward. "But how? He has magic powers." "It will not be easy," said Van Helsing. "Dracula is as strong as 20 men. He can order clouds and fog to hide him. He can force his victims to obey by staring at them. He can change his shape. He can turn himself into a wolf or a bat." "We will never beat him," said Arthur. "He is too smart, too strong." "No," said Van Helsing. "A cross can stop him. So can garlic or holy water. He can only change his shape at night. During the day his powers leave him, and he must rest. He must lie in a coffin filled with earth from Transylvania." "Those boxes on the empty boat at Whitby," said Mina. "Were they Dracula's?" "Yes," said Jonathan. "They were the boxes I saw at Castle Dracula. He was sending them to London, to his house, Carfax Abbey." Van Helsing stood up. "We must go to Carfax Abbey," he said. "We will destroy the boxes. Then Dracula will have no place to rest. He will grow weak, and we can win our battle against him." The group joined hands. "Does everyone swear to fight against Dracula and to destroy him?" asked Van Helsing. "Yes," said Dr. Seward. "Yes," said Arthur. "Yes," said Jonathan and Mina. "Good," said Van Helsing. "Now we can begin."